Okay, this video, making another one already. This one is for the conservative members of Congress. Are you stupid? Are you really this stupid? Or is there something you know that you're not telling us together? You're either a completely moronic or you have a dastardly plan that I don't want to know. Because here's the situation: we need to tax the rich. The situation, I just saw this DVD, it seemed to explain things pretty well. Basically, American workers have been doing more and more for less and less pay. Wages have been flat since the 1970s, have not rose at all. Our productivity is higher than ever, but people are working longer and harder and getting paid less and less for that productivity. Now, if you're a corporate owner and you are planning to get out while the getting's good, right before our country collapses into calamity, then I guess you might know what you're doing. But if you think you're going to if you're going to continue to live in America, preserve our system, and that we're just going to be happy being starving and poor, living on the streets, living in tents, not able to feed ourselves, our pets, anything, then you've got another thing coming. Because if you keep down this path of saying totally keeping the idea of tax increases for the wealthy out of the debate, then you will be destroyed. If you continue to live in this country, you will be destroyed. No amount of guards, no amount of dogs, no amount of supplies, no amount of ammo, weapons is going to save you. There will be mobs upon mobs of people coming to get you. This is the reality. It's already getting there. We already have like an 80% disapproval of Congress. And people are getting fed up. And you can right the ship now, but it's time to pay the piper a little bit. This system doesn't work when you squeeze and squeeze and squeeze the poor. You can't just keep doing that. It doesn't work like that. See, remember what Henry Ford said? Henry Ford, if you go back, was the first businessman to understand that if he wanted to have a successful business, then, or if the system was going to be successful, then you'd have to pay the employees enough money to buy the products that they're making. Very simple. Very simple concept. And that was why reforms were put in place, so that people made a minimum wage and that they had a certain amount of time off, and make sure that they had the opportunity not only to buy those things, but to enjoy those things. Well, we're getting to a situation where you're basically attempting to put Americans into a position of slave labor. And we're not going to put up with it. There's going to become a time of desperation when it becomes clear that this method of tax cuts and spending cuts does not work. I mean, I've already gone over this several times. The trickle-down theory is bogus. It does not work. If you want to save America, here's the thing you got to do. You either have to raise taxes on the wealthy, and raise taxes and spend a little bit. I mean, the spending cuts. I mean, they're not all bad. I certainly would love to see the defense spending get cut, and maybe there's definitely some not pork, but the Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security. What do we need this for? That's gone. No more of this. I think terrorism is going to be one of our bigger problems in the near future. I think we would be better off resolving the debt crisis than the terrorism crisis, which hasn't really reared its ugly head since September 2001. So, how can you resolve the problem? Well, You either tax the rich, or you do some kind of value-added tax like the Europeans do, or you do a financial transactions tax. This is the answer. But you need to do something. I mean, we've already been downgraded, and we're headed in desperate, even people, anyone who understands the system of capitalism would understand that we can't continue to live on a debt cycle forever. There have to be, the people with the money have to start making sacrifices. We need the people who are constantly in debt, constantly trying to make their way in the world with next to nothing. They need to be bolstered a little bit. You're taking too large of a share of the pie. This should be simple. It should be easy for anyone who understands even the most remote portions of economics, which a lot of you business leaders, supposedly do. But, I mean, I don't know if you've managed to let your greed blind you to the point where you're playing this game of brinksmanship, one-upmanship to the point that you're ready to take down the entire world economy because you're so selfish that you can't see the obvious, which is that you're taking too large a share of the wealth. It's right in front of everyone's faces. And, all this false dichotomy on the news. Oh, those bastards in Washington. Oh, it's all those guys in Washington. They don't know what they're doing. I love the way they generalize it to guys in Washington. No. It's the bastards in Washington that won't raise taxes. It's the bastards in Washington that won't pass a value-added tax. It's the bastard in Washington who won't fund green energy before military spending. This is a crucial moment in history, and it's not looking good. The way we're headed right now, with the undue influence that lobbyists have, corporations have, we're headed down a path of complete and total destruction, driven by nearsighted greed. And if you people, you leadership, don't wake the hell up within the next, month or two, at minimum, things are only going to get worse, and you will be responsible for the death of America. And you'll have a good number of poor, starving, desperate people beating your door down in short order. So do yourselves a favor. You want to preserve the system of power that you've managed to rise to supreme levels within. Then you do yourself a favor and you stop playing around, and you make some real reforms, and you help get us out of the situation before it all comes crashing down. Because if it does, it's not going to be pretty.